Welcome to the Recon Trader. In today's video, I will show you how to configure a profitable bear market automated crypto trading bot on the MUDREX platform. Now, if you're not familiar with MUDREX, it is a platform that allows you to configure your own automated crypto trading bot strategies via their visual editor, where you just drag and drop over your indicators or your patterns, your trends, and connect them to buy and sell and stop loss and take profit blocks. Now, if you're wondering what type of investment is involved to get started, actually you can start for free. And their basic plan will allow you to deploy an unlimited number of crypto trading bot strategies. And you'll have access to all the indicators to build out your strategy. Now, for the premium plan, you can actually step up for $16 a month. And the real benefit there is the unlimited backtesting, and to me that is worth the $16 a month ask. Now, I will drop a link in the description down below, and if you use my link, you will actually get $25 free sign-up bonus. In addition to, you can try their premium plan for free for 1 month. So on top of the 1 month free and the $25 sign-up bonus, you'll get about 2.5 months free of the premium plan. But that's enough jaw-jacking. Let's get to configuring this automated crypto trading bot. So the first thing you need to do after you join MUDREX is you need to connect your exchange to the platform. You don't actually send money to MUDREX. You connect your exchange to the platform via API keys, and so your funds stay on your exchange and they are as secure as they can possibly be when being held on an exchange. Now, they have a tutorial that helps you walk through setting up your API keys, so we're not going to take a deep dive into that today. What I will be focusing on is how to actually build your strategy. And from the menu bar over here on the left-hand side, you just click on Build. That will take you to Strategies. And then you want to create a new strategy, and we will be using their visual editor. So you give that a click, and you will end up with a blank slate on their visual editor. Now, the blocks over here are your indicator blocks that you can drag and drop, your compare blocks, you have trend blocks, and then you would connect these blocks to your buy and sell blocks. Now, I already have my strategy configured, so we will jump right over to my visual editor, and you can see I have all my blocks already dropped in place and connected to the buy sell. I also have a take profit set up. So now we'll get into the weeds of this actual configuration. The first thing you do need to do is actually name your strategy, and in this case I named this strategy MA Bear. The MA stands for moving averages, as the heart of this strategy revolves around moving averages. After you've named your strategy, then you would start to drag and drop over your blocks. In this case, I have 3 of the trend blocks, which is this block here, already dragged and dropped into place. Now I can click on each trend block and it will pull up the configuration of the actual block. In this case, even though this is designed for a bear market, I still want to be bullish because I'm entering long position. I don't want to be entering a position if the market's selling off. I want to take advantage of the bullish moments in a bear market. And so the first trend block is bullish with the parameters of close, EMA, 20 period, trend persistence of 2. And I just have the default advanced parameter set. So we'll click OK for that particular block. The second block is also set up as bullish with the parameters of close for the SMMA on the 200 period with a trend persistence of 10 periods. And so this is a much slower moving average than the EMA 20 on the previous block. Now we'll jump to the third and final block. And again, you will see it's clicked as bullish, close, SMA. So it's a little faster than the SMMA, but a little slower than the EMA, period of 100 and persistence of 3. And so the objective of these 3 blocks is to confirm, at least for the moment, the trend is bullish even though we're in a bear market. And all 3 blocks are connected to an AND block, which you can find right here, and you can drag and drop in place. and then connect your AND block to the buy. And the AND block does basically require all of these blocks parameters to be met in order to execute a buy order. And so now we'll jump over to the moving average compare blocks. All three of these blocks are your compare block, and the compare block basically does exactly as it says. It compares one indicator to another indicator. So let's look at the first compare block I have configured, and that's going to compare the EMA versus the SMA, and it is actually comparing the EMA to be greater than the SMA, and the period on the EMA 20 has to be greater than the SMA 100. And so to give you a quick glimpse at what that would actually look like on a chart, we'll jump over to Bitcoin's chart, and the blue line would be your 20 EMA, and then the yellow line happens to be the 100 EMA, but you get the idea. Is I want this blue line above the yellow line. When the blue line is below the yellow line, you're typically selling off. And when the 20 EMA is crossing above the 100 EMA, the market is typically trending up. And so this block is again looking for the trend upwards, even though we're in a bear market. The next block will be looking to compare the SMA greater than an SMA, but it's the 100 period versus the 200 period, which will look very similar to what I just showed you on the chart. Again, we're just looking for the shorter time frame to be above the longer time frame, which again does confirm the trend is moving in our direction. And then the third and final block is the MACD. And we're going to compare the MACD crossing up through the signal line. And so again, if we jump over to the Bitcoin chart, we can see our MACD indicator down here at the bottom of the chart. And if I blow that up to full screen, the blue line would be your MACD, and the orange line would be the signal line. And so for this strategy, I want to see the MACD crossing up above the signal line, and when it does typically do that, that indicates the price is moving up. When it crosses back down through the signal line, that typically indicates the price is selling off. And so I do want the price action moving up in my direction. Since I'm going long, I'm looking for the MACD line to cross above the signal line. And so my parameters for the MACD, I have short period set at 12, long 26, signal at 7, and that's on both sides of the MACD. And then I do have advanced parameters set at EMA for my moving average type. And that wraps up the buy side. As you can see, all the blocks are connected to the AND block, which is then connected to the buy block. Now on the sell block, if I double click on that, again, it's a compare block, and I'm comparing the EMA. I want it to be crossing down through the SMA, and the parameters are set at a 20 EMA and a 100 SMA. And so if we jump back over here to the Bitcoin chart, you can see where my 20 EMA crosses down through the yellow 100 EMA, you can see the price action starts to sell off. And so the objective is to exit before it truly sells all the way off. And so once the 20 crosses the 100, that indicates the price action is going to start to sell off, and we want out. And so that box is configured and ready to go. It's also connected directly to the sell block. The other two options is a stop loss. I haven't quite got around to dialing in the stop loss yet, but the take profit box I seem to have dialed in at 18 for the percentage of my take profit, with a trailing limit of 3%. And what the trailing actually will do is it will follow the price action up to 18%. It will trigger a take profit, but it won't actually sell if the price continues to move up. So if the price moves up to, say, 24%, it won't sell until it retraces back the 3%. So it would have to retrace from 24 to 21, and then at that point, it would execute a sell order and exit the position. So now I have my buy, my sell, and my take profit configured. Let's run a quick back test just to see how this bot would perform in a bear market. And so I'm going to run the back test on the Binance exchange. You can select from a variety of different exchanges available. The market or the quote currency will be USDT, and then my base currency or the asset will be ETH. I will be trading on the 1 hour tick. Now, something MUDREX has added, I could actually have this strategy place orders based on these parameters, but on a different coin. However, in this case, I'm sticking with Binance USDT and ETH. So now I click Start Backtest, and the backtest has started. And now the backtest is finished, and the results show monthly average returns of almost 11.5%, loss-making months of just around 16%, and a performance score of 8. And overall, an 8 is a good performance score. Now, we want to see some more details on how this bot actually performed, so we'll just click on this Actions box. Now, the results on this backtest are from November 2019 to May 2021. Now, those results include the current bull market. So I want to see how this bot will perform in a bear market. So I am going to adjust and jump back to our previous bear market. So I want the backtest to start on January 2018 and stop at the start of the current bull market. Now, I picked June 1st because May 20th was the last halving event of Bitcoin, and that is when a lot of people say the current bull market actually started. Now, I will adjust my fees to match what I pay on Binance, which is 0.075%. The backtest dates are from January 2018 to June 2020. Again, if we jump over to the Bitcoin chart, the last bull market ended right back here around January when this really started to sell off. And then we're running till approximately the 1st of June after the Bitcoin halving. And you can see that's when the market really started to take off. And I'll bump the leverage down to 0. In reality, 1 and 0 are the same. And now we click Recalculate. And you can see that the monthly average returns were 6.8% per month. But the biggest number that stands out to me during this bear market of 2018 to June of 2020 is the overall returns of the bot were 346%, where the market return, had you just bought and held, would have been negative 68. And so this strategy absolutely crushed it during a bear market. Now we can take a deeper dive into the actual numbers and see that my performance score dipped a little, but in a bear market, a 7 in my book, that's winning the battle. The maximum drawdown was 25%. Anything under 30 is acceptable in my book. Obviously 25% is a little better than the 30. Now, the total trades were only 50 trades in about a 2.5-year span. So you're at average 1.6 trades a month. So this would not necessarily be a strategy if you're an action junkie, but if you're an action junkie in a bear market, you're probably going to get mauled by that market. The Sharpe ratio, a little lower than I prefer, but again, we're talking about a bear market. Anything over a 1 is acceptable. Anything over a 2 is good. I shoot for a 2 or higher, but in a bear market, this would be acceptable. Profit factor, similar to the Sharpe ratio, anything over 1 is acceptable. Anything over 2 is good. Again, I always shoot for over 2, and we're actually achieving that in a bear market. And again, those overall returns of almost 350% versus market returns of almost negative 70%. Absolutely crushed it. The win streak was 7. Losing streak of 4. Not everyone will be able to stomach a losing streak of 4, but in a bear market, if you can't stomach 4 losses in a row, then you're probably best on the sidelines. Total trades won, less than 50%. Again, you're not going to win all the trades in a bear market. If you need to see 70, 80, 90% win rate, stay out of a bear market. My largest winning trade was 21%. The largest losing trade would be 11.5%. I typically like to see this number 2 to 3 times larger than this number, but again, we're looking at a bear market, not a bull market. Gross profits were 600%. Gross losses were 256%. Now, the next two figures are where I look at my risk versus reward. And for me, I like to have a risk of 1 and my reward somewhere around 2 or 3. And in this case, we have a risk of 4.36 and the reward of just around 12. So my average loss is 4.5% about, and my average profit was 12, giving me a 1 to almost 3 risk versus reward ratio, just shy of 3. And then my average exposure time is up there around a week and 3 days, week and a half. So you will hold your positions longer with this strategy. So one thing you need to be aware of in a bear market, you need to have a lot of patience and a ton of discipline. This strategy, however, is an effective weapon to have in your arsenal during a bear market. Now, I'm not saying we're currently in a bear market. I need more confirmation than what we have so far on the chart. We had an awful lot of consolidation before this sell-off, and we had a ton of manipulation around this sell-off. So I'm not ready to call this a bear market yet. And so I think that pretty much wraps it up. I will update this strategy once we do confirm a bear market, so you might want to shoot that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that video out in the future. If you like this video, do me a favor, spike a like. If you have any questions or comments, drop those in the comment section down below. I will drop a link to MUDREX in the description down below so you can get that free $25 sign-up bonus. And in closing, remember, never send your money in the battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.